So right here we are going to make a program where you can insert two numbers inside a program and you can compare them. The program will do it for you and it will say the comparison. If the first number is greater than the second number, or first number is less than the second number, or the first number is equals to second number. Okay, even in if statement earlier, in the technical part of the if statement, we have discussed that we have to use if else if option to do this, because we have three options: less than, greater than and equal. So we have to be very careful with this. And now since you have two inputs, now first thing we need to know what are the inputs. Now what the user needs to enter. User is entering two numbers, am I correct? I am going to ask give me the first number and I am going to ask give me the second number, and rest of things will be done by the application. Okay, so I need to give this program a name, so I am going to give program and then I have to give it a name, so I am calling it something like, I'll call it like if else, no problem, no harm, if underscore else. I am giving the name as if else. And next thing, one important matter, now in IDEs, when you run this code, because we are making a practical software, so when you run this code in IDEs, there is a small requirement for the compiler that when the user inserts something inside the program, he is going to use the keyboard, am I getting? Yeah, he is going to use the keyboard. So when he uses the keyboard, the software should have the relevant permission to access the keyboard. Yes or no? So we have to keep that permission given inside the code. For that, we are using this code, users CRT. Now, what is CRT? Users means this is going to use this part. Okay. Now keyboard is one option you need inside this program, but keyboard is not the only option you need inside a software. There are a lot of requirements like that. You need different access. So in Pascal there are some pre-made functions like CRT which hold the permission access to these type of requirements. So CRT right here is holding different type of user permissions. So once you call this function CRT, the Pascal program is capable of using the keyboard. Am I correct? So with CRT, keyboard is not the only thing we can kind of use. There are different options. You can kind of go to YouTube and there will be the downloadable link inside the PDF and there will be a list. So in this case we are using the read key privilege to get the access to a keyboard. Now is it a must to use this code? Now that depends. Some IDEs are there, they don't need this. By default they are getting the access to whole thing. If you are using a mobile IDE, when you install the software, there are some app permissions you have to give. So you have already given the full permission for the app to use them. But in PC IDEs, you don't have this option. You have to give the permission to access the keyboard inside the code itself. So you are using users CRT to access the keyboard. So the user is capable of inputting things. Okay. So next thing is the variable part. I believe you fully understood this user CRT part, right? Is this the only function available in Pascal? No, there are many. Believe me, there are many. We are going to discuss them little by little. Okay. So for the scene, I need only CRT. Okay. So next thing is declaring the variables. So I'm like 1. Now what are the variables I need? I have one number, I have a second number. That's all I have. Do I need anything, any other math? I don't. That's all I need. Yeah. So what is the data type ideal? That's also something we need to discuss. When the user inserts a value, what type of value he will be inserting? He's going to give integer values. he's going to give decimal values. You don't have any limitations to that. So what would be ideal? Integer or real? Real would be ideal. Okay, so I'm going to use real data format, and I'm going to give names to these variables like num1 and num2 colon to separate, and I'm going to give the data type something like real. End of the code. Perfect. Next thing is advancing to the program. So I'm saying begin, and right after begin I have to give it a prompt. I have to say the user, go ahead, enter the first number. Yes, so I'm like write ln, and inside the quotes I'm saying enter first number. Enter first number, that's it. So you can kind of end the code. Now at this point he is going to enter the number, so you're going to hold that value inside num1. So you're like read ln num1. Now num1 is getting the value. Next thing is getting the second number. So be wise, programmers, they don't kind of type all the way. They used to kind of copy these two lines, paste it right here, and change this into second and change this guy into 2. That's it. That's all you need to do. But this is a board, I don't have that capability, so I'm going to write it. So write ln, I'm like enter second number, end of the quote, end of the line. And same like earlier, I am going to send that number into num2 variable. So I'm like read ln num2. I have already emphasized this inside earlier lessons that you don't use any quotes for values. Quotes are only for strings.